Welcome to Computers, Ethics, and Society. My name's Tom, and I will be your instructor for the semester. The purpose of this welcome video is to talk a little bit about the course and the kind of topics we'll cover, but mostly it's to cover a few logistical things that you really should be aware of at the beginning of the semester. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into it. This is a completely asynchronous online course. There are no live elements. The course will include one exam and two papers, a midterm and a final. We will have weekly assignments. This is a paced course, so you can't just do all of the work at the end of the semester. And you can work ahead, but I would advise you to first do it in order and not to work too far ahead because it's helpful. You really need my feedback on the smaller assignments before you kind of move forward. We do have a paper book for this course. The paper book is this one. It's Gift of Fire. You have a few weeks before we start to use it. We don't use it that much, but it's pretty inexpensive. So, make plans to get that. There's no real rush, but, make sure you have it in a few weeks. The course right now is not completely up. I have the first module showing. The rest of them are almost done. I will have them, I should have it done pretty quick in the next few days here. Now, as far as the week to week, like I said, this course is paced. It's kind of paced for a reason. The topics kind of build on one another, so it's important to do things in order. But each week has one module, and the module will contain, a reading, a video, like a lecture video like this, which I'll be doing kind of as we go through the semester. I usually do them a few weeks out. And there'll be a discussion forum that you post to. That's your participation grade. There'll be a written assignment, which I'll talk about in just a minute. And there'll be other resources that I'll put in each module. Sometimes different videos, sometimes a video that has to do with the discussion forum. Sometimes there's other links, short articles and whatnot. So that's how that'll work. Go through the module each week. Now, the weekly assignments are called ARAs, or active reading assignments. Okay, it's really important that you understand how to do these. In the first module before module 1 is a module called Start Here. Has a little introduction about the course and myself. But in addition, it has instructions on how to do active reading assignments. They're very general, how they're graded, how long they should be, which is like 1 to 2 pages. They shouldn't take you forever, but they should help you engage with the text. Now, there are 2 formats for active reading assignments, and I give instructions for each of those formats. The one is a textbook format, and the other one is a philosophical text format. Those are the 2 kinds of readings that we will have, right? Some weeks we will just read a section of that Gift of Fire textbook, and that reads like a textbook. And so for that, the kind of format is mostly just like an outline of what's going on there, and a page or so summary of what's going on. And a little what I call critical question that I put at that drop box that you want to answer, which kind of is supposed to, kind of help you think about what's controversial in that reading selection. But with the other kind of reading that we will have are what I call philosophical text. Some of those are, texts from the history of philosophy, like John Stuart Mill, which will be your reading next week. But a lot of them are contemporary articles, right? About, using algorithms to, determine sentencing guidelines in criminal cases and these kinds of things. And so they can be a little bit difficult to get through. And so that philosophical text format is a little bit different. It's a series of questions, kind of generic questions, to help you kind of navigate the text a little bit. I have the formats there. I also have examples of each of those formats, right? Examples of assignments that use those formats. So look at those formats, look at those assignment, or look at the examples that hopefully that gives you enough guidance. If it does not, feel free to email me. We can schedule a meeting. You can ask a question via email, however, but and I will be giving you feedback on the active reading assignments as we go. The other thing to mention is that since it is an online course, it is really important that students read my feedback. I will be giving, slight feedback on the weekly assignments. Mostly, I will give you more feedback if I feel like you're not doing something right or you're missing something. I give less feedback if it seems like you're on track. And then I definitely give feedback on the exam, on the midterm, and it's really important for students to read that so you kind of have the guidance moving forward. So that's kind of general stuff about the course, things that you should know, things that might be a little bit unique in terms of the ARAs and whatnot. This course, in terms of content, is about ethical considerations in computing technology. There's a lot there. We don't cover everything, but in general, the format of the course is that we start off by doing a few weeks of ethical theory, right? Weeks basically 2, 3, and 4 each cover a different ethical theory that will be useful as we move forward. Then you'll have, in week 5, I believe, you'll have an ethical theory exam, which is basically an application of those theories. And it's a short essay exam. And then after that, we move on to some different topics in computing technology. The first kind of major section will be on artificial intelligence and machine learning, the use of algorithms, machine learning algorithms, and we'll read a few different articles on that, and your midterm paper will be on one of those articles. Then we move on to free speech in social media. We'll read a number of articles about that. And your final paper will actually be on that. And the kind of last section, which is a little bit thinner, because I felt like before when I taught this course, I was giving too much reading to the students. So I dialed things back a little bit. And the last couple weeks are on privacy, which really can be juxtaposed with free speech and censorship, because there are lots of ways in which, one person's free speech is another person's invasion of privacy when it comes to social media or the internet. So those are the main topics that we will be covering. For this week, there is no written assignment for the first week. There's only a discussion forum, and there's a video. It's not a video by me. It's a TED Talk by a really interesting scholar, Zainab Tufekci. She does a lot of really good work. She's very critical of social media and its social utility. And she really covers a number of interesting issues that we will be covering in one way or another. Problems with data harvesting and how that's used, how social media companies use data harvesting, the kind of unintended consequences we have of using algorithms, specifically on social media. And also, the way in which social policy has really had a hard time in catching up with computing technologies, right? Computing technologies are moving really, really fast. And, and there's a question about, what does censorship look like on the internet? Where do you get a foothold with that? It's not as established kind of communication as radio, television, films, and these kinds of things. So anyway, so that's, watch that video and make your introductions on the discussion forum. I look forward to reading them, and I will be talking with you shortly about philosophy. We'll dive into the ethical theory next, okay? That's it. Thanks.